So it's a great day to be alive, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You know that we got today. You know there's no guarantee for tomorrow, right? Today, we got today. And I can't think of any place I'd rather be than the New Waverly High School. I feel like I'm at home because I was a principal at Magnolia High School for 14 years, and we were Bulldogs as well. So, and we were same school colors and everything. So I feel like I'm back home. So we don't have a lot of time. So we're going to go fast. I understand that you all have been selected today. You guys are in some leadership, principals leadership, and then you invited. Are you part of a leadership committee, or
some of us are.
Some of you are, and then you invited someone to join you. Okay. Well, it's great. Do you realize the difference that you could make in your school by just the influence that you have in this room? I mean, you. First of all, I want everybody to understand that every single one of you are a leader. Some people don't like to be considered a leader. You know, when I talk to a lot of teacher groups, teachers don't like to be called leaders. They think that's for the principal or someone else. They're teacher leaders because they influence students every day. You, at your level, are student leaders. You can, the choice is you have to decide what kind of leader you want to be. And so I would imagine all of you want to be positive influencers. So you can influence your siblings. How many of you have siblings, brother? Okay. And, you know, whether they're older or younger, you influence. You have an opportunity to influence. I'm a grandpa. I know I don't look like a grandpa, but I am. I'm 65 years old. I was in education for 34 years. Matter of fact, here I am. That's me. And these are three of my greatest achievements. My grandkids. Okay. So I'm a husband, dad, silly grandpa. All of this other stuff, that's important, but not this important. Okay. I get to be in the car. I'm in the car line like 2 or 3 days a week picking up these two. This one's he's still in pre-K, so he's not quite there yet. But these, you know, everywhere I go, I have to show off what kind of grandpa would I be if I didn't show you pictures of my grandkids, right? All right, so enough of that. So I was the principal at Magnolia High School for 14 years. And then I didn't retire in 2016. I repurposed. Okay, I've always done multiple things. Even when I was the principal at Magnolia High School, I was on staff at a church. I have a nonprofit for ministry for dads, to encourage dads to be the daily active devoted dad. That's an acronym for dad, because there's a lot of men out there that don't live up to their responsibilities. So we have what we call Dad University. So I do that. But now, as I'm repurposed, I work for Sam Houston State right down the road. Anybody in here think they want to be a teacher one day? Raise your hand. Okay, well, Sam Houston's one brave soul. Okay,
I'm going to Sam, actually.
Okay, well, very good. Congratulations. And Sam Houston, the College of Education, of course, I'm a graduate. I'm an alumni, eat 'em up cats. But I was in that same building many years ago that my daughter was in when she became a teacher, my son-in-law, and there's a lot of Bearcats around here. But I supervise student teachers. I don't know, do you have any student teachers here on campus? Anybody have a student? Okay. Chances are they're either from A&M or Sam Houston. I supervise student teachers in Magnolia ISD and Aldine ISD, but then I also work for Region 6, where I mentor and coach assistant principals, and then I have my nonprofit, so I'm pretty busy. So when I left Magnolia High School, we had 2,800 students at Magnolia High School. And every year at graduation, I was there 14 years. I was the principal at one high school for 14 years. And so the last year I was there, and I stood in front of graduation, we always graduated at Reed Arena at A&M in front of like 10,000 people. I told my last graduating class that I was going to do this more. I was going to play more. Well, I love acronyms. I make acronyms, out of almost every word. It's easy to remember. So it stands for people, love, acknowledge, yearn. So this is leadership. You guys are here. This is a leadership conference. I want to tell you that you need to play more. And don't walk out of here, your principal is going to think, they invited a speaker to tell my students to play more. That doesn't mean play around. It doesn't necessarily mean playfulness, but it means to be creative, to have discovery, to empower, to collaborate with people. I think, I encourage my teachers, my student teachers that I mentor and my assistant principals that I coach, that they need to play, that they need to bring creativity into the classroom, discovery. And so we're going to talk about why are these important as a leader to play more. And again, it's not necessarily playfulness. It's those things like people. Who are your people? None of you are here today by yourself. None of us can be successful or earn. I have a lot of accolades that I'm proud of, but I didn't earn any of those by myself. I didn't become the principal that I became without my staff and my students. I didn't become the father. I didn't become the husband. I didn't become the grandfather. I didn't become the mentor or the coach that I am without other people in my life. So the question I would ask you is who are your people? Who are those people that are your 3 a.m. people? Who are your people that you could call anytime and they would be there? Who are those people that love you unconditionally? Who are those people that care about your journey? That want the very best for you. And so as leaders, first of all, we need to remember that we cannot lead by ourselves. No man or woman is an island. If we are, we're not going to operate very successfully very long. So as a leader, as a student here at the new Waverly High School, you need to consider who are your people. I mean, you've got counselors, you've got teachers, you've got principals, you have family members, you have friends. You need to have a team around you. Every great leader has a team around them. If you get to my age and you can name 1, 2, or 3 people that fit that description that I just gave you, that care about care about your journey, and will be there unconditionally, you are so blessed. I want you to think about if you had to make me a list, I don't want you to, but if you had to make me a list, could you name today 3 people? Could you name 1 person? And that's where you start. And then you start building your team. It's about relationships. Being a leader is about being in relationships with other people. The second thing, speaking of relationships, is love. Okay? So who will show them love if we don't? I would tell my staff when I was the principal at Magnolia High School that inside this building we need to take care of each other, because sometimes outside the building, people have different ideas about us. We have to celebrate each other. You as a school, as a leader, need to celebrate each other. There's a famous football coach, Lou Holtz, that talks about there's only 3 things that matter in life: who you love, who loves you, and what you did while you were here on this earth. Those are the 3 most: who loves you, who you love, and what you did when you were here in this earth. We talked about we got today. We don't know about tomorrow, but we got today. So what are you going to do today? Who are you going to love today? Who do you need to speak those words to? Who do you need to make, who is it that you need to tell them how you feel, to speak those words? Here I am again, another hashtag or acronym. We used to talk about the 6 words, the 6 most important words. Most people can get the first 3 words. I love you. The second 3 words are I need you. I love you, I need you. Sometimes I need you is more important than I love you, because sometimes people just need to see it in action. Sometimes we just say, I love you, goodbye. Sometimes we say that so quickly. Sometimes we just take that for granted. Sometimes we just say glibly. It's almost like we don't even think about. It's like saying hello and goodbye. We just throw it in there. But I love you, I need you. In other words, you are important to me. I need you in my life. You're one of my people. Who you love, who loves you, and what you did while you were here. So people, love. And this one's big. Acknowledge. What is it, or where is it, that you need to acknowledge more? It's easy to acknowledge the successes in our life. It's easy, but sometimes we need to also acknowledge where what we need to work on. Maybe our failures, our pain, our sorrow, our hurts, our disappointments, because that's going to happen. And what leaders do is they acknowledge those so they can make a plan of action. If we don't acknowledge it, and men, we're worse than the women a lot of times, that we just stuff that stuff, and then it comes up one day because we fail to acknowledge it. So we've got to consider, what are those things in our lives that we need to acknowledge? What are those things that we need to shore up? What are those things that we need to work on? It's kind of self-aware. As a leader, you need to be self-aware of your strengths in those areas that you need to acknowledge to work on. The other part of that is we do need to acknowledge each other. I mean, who wants to go through the whole day here at school and not one person says hello to you? You need to acknowledge each other in the hallway. I know that's kind of hard to do sometimes. Sometimes early in the morning, we're still tired. We've got a lot on our. It's not easy being you. In this world today, there's a lot of pressure on you. If you're a junior and a senior, are most of you juniors and seniors? Or do we have any freshmen, sophomores in here? Okay. All right. I always thought as a high school principal that your junior year academically typically is the most difficult. Especially if you're going from pre-AP to AP classes, typically there's a big jump. And then as a junior, you're starting to think about, okay, now I'm getting really close to what to having to make decisions about what's next. And then all of a sudden you become a senior and you got all these things on your plate, and not only looking towards the end, but anticipating, knowing that this is your last year in high school. And if those of you that are seniors, I would say, here, I want to tell you, in freshman, you'll be a senior before you know it. It'll happen. You're going to look up and say, I wish I would have listened. But don't count days. Do not count days. Make every single day count. We got today. There's no guarantee for tomorrow. Don't count days. Don't wish days away. Don't live for Fridays. If you are living for the weekend in your life, you need to add up all those days that you're just, taking for granted. That's a lot of life you're missing. If you are always looking toward the weekend, then you're missing out on a lot of life. Do not count days. Make every single day count, because you as seniors, you're going to be sitting at wherever you graduate that day, and you're going to be, oh my gosh, how did this happen? The day that you thought as a freshman would never come, and all of a sudden it happens. So acknowledge the day, enjoy the day, live the day. And then this one is my favorite one. What do you yearn for? I can't even say the word with 5 minutes. I can't even introduce myself in 5 minutes. Okay, so yearn. I can't even say that word without smiling. What do you yearn for? What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? What's your purpose? What is it that you want to achieve? If you don't know what that is, then you need to start figuring that out. Because let me just tell you this. I don't know anybody who is unhappy in their life that has goals. If you have goals in your life, then you have purpose. And if you have purpose, that gives you life, and that gives you motivation and excitement. So set some goals. What is it you yearn for? What is it that you want? I'm going to tell you, you are worthy of goals. Okay, so we're going to go really quick. So think about what I just said about if you had no fear, what would you dare to do? What is it out there? If you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, if you had no fear of failure, what is it that you would do? You know, I just want you to know that you're an overcomer. All of you are overcomers. And overcomers realize that struggles that you have in your life doesn't define you. But your choices do. You know, life is choice driven. We live and die by the choices we make. So instead of always seeing themselves as broken or worthless, overcomers see the importance of their own choices. Like choosing whether or not to count days or not. Value yourself first. There is no one like you. You are unique to all the world. There is only one you, and you're valuable. I would tell my students every single day two things. Every single day. If I had there's a teacher here, I think, that works here. If we went and got her and brought her in, she would tell you what I said on the announcements every single day. I would say this every single day. 34 years in education, I guarantee you some of my very first students that are now almost 50 years old would say, does he still say it's a great day to be alive? And then I would add, at the Magnolia High School, where every single student are three things. Every single student is valuable, complete, and loved. Hashtag VCL. It became swag. People would buy. It became a chant at pep rallies. VCL, VCL. You are valuable, you are complete, and you're loved. There is no one like you. You have what it takes, and you're loved. You're a leader. Every one of you are leaders. You wouldn't be in this room today if you weren't a leader. Every one of you, every single one of you influence at least one person. If you influence one person, you're a leader. What we get is what we give. And this will be the very last thing. Okay, so my last month at the Magnolia High School, do you know what, I think they changed it. Now it's called, I think, Remind 101. You know what Remind 101 is? It tells you how everything doesn't stay. That was just like 10 years ago, and it's like ancient now. It was a way for me to communicate to every single student in the building. Okay? So I decided my very last 30 days as principal, I was going to send a message to my students every single day. It's like a text, a group text, a huge group text, Remind 101, about the idea of honor. What does it mean to honor? 30 different. So then I took those messages that I sent for a month, and I put it into a video that I share now. So I think what's very important as leaders is we find ways to honor each other and honor the people that are in our life. I'll stop. We need to stop.
About 1 minute.
Okay.
About 1 minute before
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. But, okay, so as a leader, we find ways to acknowledge others in our life, and we honor them so many different ways. How you honor them is up to you. How you honor them is unique as you are as a leader. Find ways. The most important thing is you find ways to honor others and be the leader. And don't forget to play. People, love, acknowledge, yearn. If you don't remember anything I said, play. People, love, honor. People, love, acknowledge, yearn, honor others. You guys have a blessed day.